Welcome to the Determined Mom Show, the only marketing podcast dedicated to guiding mom CEOs into tranquility, wealth, and multiplying those precious moments. Welcome to episode number 83 of the Determined Mom Show. In this episode, I want to actually go back and really explore some of the gifts that 2020 gave us. I know it was a crazy year, and there is really no year that we can compare, at least not in my lifetime, and probably not in your lifetime, to the year 2020. We all had amazing expectations. We thought it was going to be a banner year for our businesses and our families, and we couldn't have been more wrong, and possibly we couldn't have been more right. So I want to go ahead and dive into my top 10 favorite things that came out of 2020 being the weirdest year ever. The first thing is embracing change. We were all forced to immediately change our lives, change every aspect of our life. Things that we never even considered could change, changed. And with that came a lot of different shifts and changes in where we went, where we didn't go, how we got there, if we took our kids. I mean, there's just so many different changes that happened in 2020. And that is probably one of my favorite things because I love change and I love, when things are different, and it just keeps me more excited about life. So if you aren't someone that loves change, then it might have been a little harder for you, but I absolutely love change. And I think just for all of us to be forced into accepting things as they were and that kind of thing, I think it makes us more flexible as people and as moms and as business owners in order to be able to embrace those changes as they come. So, number 2 is the ability to work from home. I've been working from home for about 3.5 years now. However, there are many, many people that just got thrown into that work from home experience this past year. And some of them probably love it, some of them probably hate it, but it is a great experience. I would not want to have to go out into the world and work and do all that, especially during a pandemic. So I think for a lot of people, the working from home was a blessing and not something that they did not like. So I think that's really important to focus on the blessings of 2020. The third thing is virtual networking. Again, I've been doing virtual networking for about 3.5 years because I deal with all of my clients, prospective clients, and coworkers or business associates online. And I really, really enjoyed the fact that everyone embraced online networking pretty quickly, actually. I mean, I think by the end of March, everybody was kind of like, okay, this is what we're doing. And we're online now, and here we go. So I really think that that is a huge blessing in itself. And just seeing companies shift and really understand that the future is virtual, and there's no reason for them to have offices and huge overhead and those kind of things when they can easily have their employees work from home. So virtual networking is definitely one of my favorite things. And I'm actually going to be launching my own virtual networking group or events. I'm not going to say group because it's not exclusive. Anyone can attend, and it is called 337 Networking. And that is how much each event costs to attend. So $3.37. You only pay for the ones that you attend, and it's just going to be an amazing experience because it's a virtual experience, very similar to what you would find in a conference. So you can actually get up and go to different tables. You can meet different people. You're not stuck in a Zoom session with people that maybe you don't connect with, or people that really could reciprocate or do anything for your business, or you can't do anything for theirs. So there's going to be that ability to move around and meet the right people, and it's going to be really exciting. So a non-business / kind of business issue that came up in 2020 is the racial issues, I should say the racism issue that kind of reared its head after the death of George Floyd. Now, I personally am thankful that these issues actually came to light. I wish they hadn't had to come to light in the death of a person, George Floyd, but the fact that they did come to light and racism kind of came to the surface, I want to say. It's something that's always been there, but if you're not of color, of any color, then you won't see it, And I think it's a really important thing that came to light, and it kind of gave us a really good picture of who in our life and in our business relations is subtly racist, who's overtly racist, who, all of those things. It all just kind of brought it all to the surface. And I personally am very thankful for that because I can now choose who I do business with based on my beliefs and whether or not someone supports the All Lives Matter movement or not. So the fifth thing that came out of 2020 as a blessing is just knowing who that you're exposed to takes precautions, even on a daily basis, to prevent illness and those kind of things. So I know for sure that there are people in our life that don't wash their hands as they should. And I mean, there's so many different things, but it's also those who kind of, are willing to risk their lives or your life for silly reasons. So I think that is a blessing because it exposes the true heart of people and the true thinking process behind them. So it might not be important for you, but it's very important for me. So then that way I know how people feel and know where they stand on things. Number 6 is going to be family time. This is actually probably one of my favorite ones, so I should move it up the list, but these are not necessarily in order. Family time has taken on a new meaning. I mean, we're with our families all the time in 2020 and now 2021, but it's definitely taken on a new meaning, and it gives you more time to get to know your kids, more time to laugh and just really enjoy being with your family. That is a huge, huge thing. And I know it's also brought out some negative things with people being cooped up together, but I am choosing to focus on the positive, and I hope that you are as well. The next thing, and this is a really important one for me, is holidays with boundaries. So typically on a holiday, we actually just moved back to my home state of Pennsylvania, and we're now close to all of my family. And that brings up issues because we don't necessarily like going to everyone's house and doing all of the things. And we like to have a nice, relaxing Christmas day by ourselves as a family in our home. And so the pandemic kind of allowed us to have a built-in boundary for our Christmas where, okay, if you want to come to our house, you can. If not, no worries. And we also visited my parents a few days before Christmas. So then that way we could kind of do the whole seeing them in their house and that kind of thing. But I really love the boundaries that COVID is instilling in us, and okay, no, it's not okay to just come over to someone's house and eat dinner and all of those things. And we're very strict about our visits, and we minimize our visits. We don't hug. We don't do a lot of things that other people might think are, okay. But I will say that I really love the fact that COVID has enforced boundaries. The number 8 on my list is that we have a new president. 2020 gave us the gift of Joe Biden, and whether you like him or not, I really feel like it is a step in the right direction for our country to get back to kind of business as usual, or maybe not business as usual. That's probably not the right term, but just some sort of sense of normalcy and decency and common sense. So that is a number 8. And I really think that the pandemic really brought that about because of the handling of the current administration's, their handling of COVID. So The ninth thing, and this is something silly, but is takeout drinks. So when we lived in Washington, which was recently, we were able to order food and then also order drinks. So we could order margaritas, we could order, any kind of drink, and they would have it ready for takeout. That is so awesome. And I love it because you can actually get like a real margarita. I don't know how to make a margarita at home. Tastes like the ones that you can get at like a Mexican restaurant. So our favorite restaurant always allowed us to order and pick up our margaritas. So that was fun. And number 10 is online ordering. Now, you could do this before 2020. However, you can get pretty much anything that you want now curbside. You just pull up to a store, pick it up, or they even deliver it. I order all of our groceries online and have them delivered so I don't have to go into the store and I don't have to worry about the kids and just so many things. I'm also pretty antisocial, or whatever you call it. Oh, introverted. That's what they call it. And I don't really enjoy being around people, and I have social anxiety. So the grocery store is like one of the worst places for me to go. So online ordering is my other favorite thing of 2020. I hope that you can also look back on the year 2020 and find those blessings where it might be hard to find them. But whatever is a blessing to you, I encourage you to write it down and just reflect on the year and reflect on how each of those things impacted yourself and your family and your business. So I hope you have an amazing start to 2021. It is a new year, and we are going to do things definitely differently than we did last year in our businesses. So I would love to hear from you about what you're doing differently in 2021. Thank you. And as always, if you can leave a review wherever you're listening to this, on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever, it is greatly appreciated. And if you can subscribe and share with your friends, that is also greatly appreciated. Have a great week. This episode of the Determined Mom Show is brought to you by the free Facebook group, Mastering Google My Business to Increase Your Revenue. Inside of this group, you'll get insights into new features of Google My Business, and you'll learn how to master your Google My Business listing in order to increase your revenue. This is free to join, and you can find it on Facebook by searching Mastering Google My Business to Increase Your Revenue inside of the Facebook groups.